Hello and welcome back to my channel. What I wanted to talk to you today about is the use of AI in nursing, and especially if you are a nursing student or you're a qualified nurse who's doing some kind of module or a master's program. You will see that ChatGBT is pretty much everywhere and people are using it very freely, and it can be an amazing tool, and AI is very much here to stay, and it can be amazing. It can do absolutely incredible things. It can help us take time off previous jobs that we've done, give us back more time, and that's incredible. But when it comes to academia, and as a student, if you've got a module to do with an assessment at the end, how can you use ChatGPT safely to get your work done? And what we want to make sure is that people don't fall into the trap of giving ChatGPT their learning outcomes, their assignment brief, and asking it to produce a 3,000 word assignment with references, and then that person goes and submits that to the university, and there's no learning there that has occurred. And basically what that is plagiarism. So you will have been briefed on plagiarism when you start any course, and what it means is that you can't take someone else's work and submit it as your own. That is plagiarism. And it's a very serious thing if you do it, and you can look at your own university policy to see how they deal with plagiarism. So you don't want to do that, and a lot of the universities are now getting a software that can pick up if these essays have been generated by AI. There's a match for AI. So again, it's a very new thing and it's constantly emerging, but I just wouldn't fall into that trap. There's no point, and especially for us as nurses, we have to abide by our code of conduct, and that has all kind of implications for using ChatGPT to do your work for you. It's not something you want to do, and I just wouldn't even go there. But I wouldn't not use ChatGPT for your work, and I definitely used it to help me, and my university has a subscription to it now, which is amazing for us students to use. And basically, I think of it like an online assistant. So if I had some kind of meeting, maybe a supervision meeting, I would take some AI notes, obviously get your supervisor to consent to that. So if you're doing a master's dissertation, you can say, is it okay if I use some software here to generate the notes? And basically within minutes, you will get an email after the meeting finished online with all the key points that you've discussed and the actions that need to happen from that, which is incredible. And think of the time that would save you, the record keeping involved, absolutely fantastic, and that would save you a lot of time and just make you feel so organized. The other thing I use ChatGPT for is to help me structure my time and organize my day. And I definitely went through a trap of thinking, okay, I've got 2 days this week to do purely my ethics application, which I had to write my protocol, which was about 5,000 words. And I thought, okay, I've got 2 days. I want to work on this. I want to get a big chunk of work done. And I sit down to do it, and it's almost overwhelming. I don't know where to start. But then I get to a point where, okay, I know what I have to do, but how do I actually do it? And it wasn't until I spoke to some other students, they were telling me, just aim for 2 hours, aim for 2 hours today just to do it. Kind of productivity hacks where you set a timer or something that can really help. But where ChatGPT comes in is that it can give you a program, and you can tell it, you can input, okay, this is my day, these are all the other things I need to do. I need to go to a shift tonight, I need to try and get some sleep in, I need to try and prepare my food, I need to pick up my children, all of these things. And then it will give you a schedule of what you need to do. And you can even input to say, I've got a 3,000 word essay due in 8 weeks from now. I've been told I have to read this chapter, these papers. Can you do a schedule for me? And this is my time that I've got. It's amazing for that. And also, I would use it to do a search for any papers I'm missing, any reports, any key documents. And obviously, you still have to do the academic searches yourself, because ChatGPT is not always accurate. And this is something that completely blew my mind, because I've been using ChatGPT very loosely. I might have been using it for recipes or for information around random things in my life. I think I asked it to break down fun facts about zebras, stuff like that. And Then when I went to an event in the summer with other PhD students, one of my colleagues there is doing their PhD completely on the use of AI in healthcare. And actually I learned so much about ChatGBT from that. ChatGBT can make stuff up, and it's actually called a hallucination. So you can look this up online, and basically ChatGBT, when you ask it a question, will look at the World Wide Web, extract data very, very quickly, and produce it back to you in an easy to read way. It's like a friend is talking to you. Like, it is amazing in that way. But remember, it doesn't have morals. It's not a person. You have to use it with a pinch of salt. And there's been some high profile cases, especially in the legal world, where people have gone onto ChatGPT or other AI software and asked it questions, and then it's produced information from the internet that they've took to be real, and actually that was just fabrications or a hallucination. Basically what it is, it feels real but it's not. So you have to be so mindful. And we did a practice which completely blew my mind. We were doing a critical appraisal of a healthcare paper. So this is where we read a healthcare paper, and then you have a critical appraisal tool where you ask questions about the paper. How many participants were in it, what country was it carried out in, to make comparisons to where you live in your healthcare system. And so a group of us did it manually, and then some of us did it on ChatGPT, where you input the paper and ask ChatGPT to produce it back for you. And ChatGPT unfortunately had hallucinations in it, where it had completely the wrong answers, and there were fabrications for some things. Now, they were very minor, but they were still quite significant when it comes to determining the quality of the paper. So you have to have a real air of caution with it, and you can't use it to do the hard work for you. There's no substitute for hard work, but you can use it as an assistant. You could ask it to do your keywords for a search, or where are the best databases to find literature for your topic. If you're doing something like the management of hypertension, you can ask it to develop a search strategy that you can use on your databases like your CENOL or your PubMed, and that would be amazing to do that, because it would just make it easier for you to do. So just be really mindful of that. It's not all it's cracked up to be, and we've got to use it reliably and sensibly. The other thing is, universities are very much aware that people are using ChatGPT, and they've produced their own guidance and guidelines for students to use it and to use it safely. So just don't fall into the trap of getting it to do your work for you. And the other thing is, universities are making adjustments to their assessments. So we may see a bit of a shift away from your traditional assignments, or you still might have your assignment, but then you have questioning, in-depth questioning, a presentation, almost like an interview style assessment, where the examiners, your lecturers, can really get to grips. If you've read those papers and you've made that clinical judgment about those papers, and you've critically analysed the work yourself, because you don't want to fool anyone. You don't want to substitute that hard work, but you can definitely use ChatGPT to help you with certain things, or even to find some papers. You can ask it to find other PhD theses on the topic that you're interested in, or to find some maybe reports or documents that wouldn't have come up on your search, kind of safety net kind of things in that way. Also, you can use it for spelling, grammar, or to point you in the right direction for your references. Again, they won't always be right, so you've got to check them, but it can definitely make it a bit easier to get you on the road to doing them. So if in doubt, definitely check with your module leader or your lecturer, but just be sensible when it comes to using it, and there's no substitute for hard work. So let me hear your thoughts, and see you in the next one.